All right, y'all. We are kicking off this workout with heavy overhead shoulder presses. And this is 125. So there's a 25, there's a 10, and there's a 5 on each side. This was my first working set, and we're trying to go as heavy as possible, even though we're technically going for 8. I think we only got 5 or 6, but it's all good. I think this is going to be a movement that's going to help us on the bench press as well, as far as just getting our shoulders and triceps stronger. And we did 4 working sets of that before moving on to side lateral raises. And we're trying to find the 20s or the 22.5s, but we had to go a little bit heavier, so we grabbed the 25s. And I think we still got a good amount of reps here, but you guys can definitely tell it was not easy. I was definitely pushing myself pretty hard with these 25s. And then we finally found the 20s and backed that down a little bit, so they're a little bit tighter of a set. And then we moved on to face pulls. You guys, this is how I've always done my face pulls. I feel like my rear delts and my traps are pretty developed. So I know it's a little bit unconventional, but I think the angle just allows you to go heavier, but also stay pretty controlled. At the same time, you're kind of locked into this position. So I don't know if you guys want to give it a try, go for it. If I know there's a lot of different ways to do this, some of which may be better than others, but hey, this works for me. Anyways, that was pretty much it, guys. It was a super quick workout, and then we just walked on the treadmill for a bit. Hey, what's up, y'all? It is the next day. Today we're hitting back and biceps and a little bit of triceps. We're going to take you through this little workout. This is probably the chillest workout you could do on a Friday to just set the tone for the weekend. Do a little bit of a Guido back and arm pump, drive over in the Mustang, just slightly above the speed limit, you know what I'm saying? But we're feeling good today. We've been sipping on Mio Energy all day. It's been a productive week. We got a lot of big stuff cooking. I'll chat about that later. But in the meantime, nothing really matters except for getting in there and getting this pump. So I'll see y'all in there. All right, Guido back in arm workout, kicking it off with weighted pull-ups. I got 27.5 pound dumbbell between my legs, and we're going for as many reps as possible. And I think we got 9 on this first set, which is pretty good considering I hadn't done weighted pull-ups aside from last week for about a month and a half. If you guys remember when we were doing all those lat pull downs, I was getting a little bit annoyed that I couldn't do my weighted pull-ups anymore, because I feel like that's how I built my entire back and honestly my biceps as well. We're still getting used to this next movement as far as the bent over barbell rows. I feel like this is kind of like the alpha back exercise. Like, you just get some weight and you throw that thing around. It's a little bit hard on my lower back. I'm not even going, I'm going as heavy as I can, so maybe I'm just soft. I mean, I feel like back in the day in high school or college, I could do like 185 with that, but maybe I just had terrible form. I don't know. Now we're throwing in some cable rows. We're adding a little bit more volume than our program calls for, just because I like to do higher volume training, and I think it's going to be necessary to try to recruit as many muscle fibers as possible, especially since I'm dropping my calories pretty low. I'm already down like 2,000 calories, so a little extra volume probably doesn't hurt. I wouldn't go too crazy on a serious cut, but that was pretty much it for back. Then we hopped over and we did a few of these dumbbell presses with 35s, and then we dropped it down to 30. We also threw in a couple sets of dips because I miss doing dips for triceps and for a little chest action. And then we did preacher curls with the dumbbells. We had 25 pounds, and then we dropped it down to 20 pounds for the second and third set. We even threw a couple sets of hammer curls in there because, again, arms are a weak point. I want to make sure my arms don't look like shit, especially as I'm getting leaner and leaner and leaner. I don't think I'm at risk of overtraining by just doing a few more sets here and there, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. If I just am staying sore all the time and I'm unable to recover, then maybe I'll have to back down the volume a little bit. But I mean, we already backed down the volume like a ton for this new programming cycle. I think when you're cutting, it's smart to drop it by like 10-20% as far as the overall volume sets and reps go. But I mean, we almost cut it in half. So I think there's definitely an opportunity to continue to, boost the volume. And then we did 3 sets of these farmers carries with the 70-pound kettlebells in each hand. And I'm doing, this video is sped up 2x just because it would take forever. But at one point I just dropped the dumbbells because my grip gave out. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna end it here. We're gonna start changing up the content strategy a little bit. We already started to do 2 workouts per video in most cases. And so we're gonna probably continue to do that just because these workouts are a lot shorter. There's a lot less reps and sets involved because it's kind of a bro style split. In most cases, we only have, you know, four or 5 exercises, in some cases fewer per workout. But nonetheless, I think this is also like a shift in my content strategy. I think when I initially started posting on YouTube, I wanted to do a lot of long form content, right? More vlogs, kind of day in the life of lifting, you know, balancing corporate and stuff like that. And I think over the last couple months since I've been doing that, it's been a lot of fun. But I think ultimately, like my goals are going to be changing soon, right? It's going to be less just for fun and just putting stuff out there. And it's going to be more tailored towards trying to help other people. And I think with social media this day and age, people like short form content, right? People like those 20, 30-second clips where they're just getting a bite full of information before moving on to the next reel or the next carousel or whatever the case may be, right? And so we're still going to be doing some long form content, but I think I'm going to start to reprioritize my time so I can, you know, ultimately help clients, so I can reach more clients, and, you know, put content out there that'll resonate with them more on different channels, versus just, you know, having you guys watch a 15-minute video about Kevin Sharp lifting weights and like his dog and stuff like that, you know. So I think there's also an opportunity to get more creative with short form content, right? Because it's only 20, 30, up to 3 minutes long, I think is the limit on Instagram. I can experiment more, right? I can post more stuff about the Mustang. I can post more stuff about my dog, right? And then, you know, maybe at the end of the week, I can compile a lot of those clips and turn it into a long form video. So I don't know. We're going to still have fun with it. I think, like we're going to continue to evolve as this thing gets bigger and bigger. And so what we did 2 months ago, is going to be different from what we're doing today. And what we do 2 months from now is going to be different than what we're doing today as well. So you guys get the point here. But if you made it to this point in the clip, you're a freaking real one. I appreciate you, and I'll tap in with y'all later. Peace.